I get always a bit overwhelmed because then I look around and there's so many people. But then when I get in the ring and I hear the bell ring, I stop for a second. This is us now. Like, this is just us.
If you don't know Emilie Conter's name yet, you will now. Imagine this. You're galloping down to the last enormous fence in a 5-star Grand Prix. You're up against reigning world champions and newly minted gold medalists. The crowd is holding their breath. You can hear a pin drop. And your coach shouts, "Take it!" So you do, and you win. That's exactly what Emilie Conter did in the Saturday Night Lights Bainbridge 5-star Grand Prix in Wellington, marking a career-defining victory on International Women's Day aboard her 10-year-old mare, Portobello van de Fruitkoff. But this is about more than a big win. It's about the years of patience, the setbacks, the mental battles, and the belief in her mare that got her there. In this episode, we're revealing how Emilie transformed a slow young mare into a 5-star powerhouse. The mental game that top riders use to handle pressure and overthinking. The secret power of a coach who believes in you. Plus, the bet over a horse trailer that proved Bella's potential. What it's really like growing up inside one of the most influential horse businesses in show jumping. Whether you dream of competing at the highest level or just want an inside look at what it takes to succeed in this sport, you're going to love this episode.
Dear Horse World, it's Emilie Conter.
Yay! Okay, Emilie, welcome to the Dear Horse World podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, congratulations are in order.
Thank you.
So for everyone who didn't get a chance to watch, Emilie won her first 5-star Grand Prix on Saturday night, week 9 of WEF, the Bainbridge 5-star Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal.
Yes.
So, needless to say, that was a big moment. Do you want to share a little bit with everybody how that felt?
Yes. Oh, I couldn't believe it when it happened, to be honest. It's still every day I'm waking up now. It's like I open my phone. I'm like, oh, like this happened. Like it still feels a bit surreal. But I remember when I was crossing the finish line and I saw I was in the lead. Because normally I'm always a bit slower, and I was like, wow, like okay, this is cool. And then it was just to wait to let the others, because there were like 3 more behind me. And I had to wait, and okay, it was getting closer and closer. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. It was crazy. Yes.
So for everyone who's listening or watching, Emilie beat Henrik von Eckermann and King Edward, Harry Charles and his horse Sherlock. Derek Kenny also was really after that.
He was fast.
I was thinking if anyone's gonna not I was like, if he was at the end, right?
He was last to go. Yeah.
So you on International Women's Day, you beat all the guys. How did that feel?
It felt really good, I must say, for sure. It's already like really nice for me to compete against them and just look up to them, all of them. And yeah, it just feels crazy. But my mare is amazing, and we all worked very hard, and all worked out in our favor on Saturday.
It's kind of this awesome and unique aspect to our sport that we get, as women and men, get to compete against each other equally. However, we know that not as many women are in the top 10 or the top 20. That's not a 50-50 split. Mm-hmm. Of the women that, there's so many in the sport. Yeah. Who do you want to who do you want to bench or basically base your career off of as a female rider that's in the sport at the moment?
That's a very easy answer. It's Helena Stormanns, for sure.
Okay.
My trainer. Yeah.
So Helena, and how long have you been training with Helena?
Now I believe 3 years. Yeah. Since we started here 3 years ago. So it's been quite some time.
And why would you choose Helena's career that you want to emulate?
I really look up to her. Like, she's a great horsewoman. She did many great things also in her career. I love training with her, and she brought me somewhere where I could not believe where I am now. So I had all that thanks to her. So yes, she's amazing.
What are some, Helena's we can attribute Helena to that helping a lot of top riders and a lot of top female riders. I noticed that she really goes out of her way to mentor and teach teach female young riders. So if everyone who's listening, maybe they know Helena, but they don't know what she's like to learn from.
Yeah.
What are some sort of standout pieces of advice that she's given you now that you're competing at the 5-star level?
She's, to be honest, like the main thing that really helps me training with her is she's very positive and uplifting all the time. Like in the warm-up, when you warm up, and even though it's not the best jump you had in the warm-up, she still keeps like, it's fine. Like, she's like, great. She like she's screaming at you. She's like, good, great, do it again. Like, and it keeps you, like, it's very positive and it gives you confidence. Because especially with like me, I don't have so much confidence in me, like, all the time. I always struggled with that. But like with her as a trainer, it's incredible the amount of confidence she gives you, and it just helps so much to go in the ring with the confidence she gives you.
She's really like, for those of us who were there, when you were galloping to the last fence, you could hear everyone was quiet. Like there was like a little bit of, sound, but you hear Helena scream like, go!
Yeah, I heard that. I was like going to the last and I heard her go like scream. You could hear it until the whole thing. And she's like, go, take it. And I was like, okay, I'm taking it. And that's incredible. I heard her and I was like, okay, I'm going, because I was thinking of waiting. And I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna go. And she's screaming at me. I was like, it was great. Yeah.
I was actually thinking as you're speaking, there is something really special to have a very passionate, positive mentor.
Yeah.
Working with you and like fighting for you. I do imagine that gives you a lot of confidence.
Yeah. To feel like that someone is totally behind you and believes in you it changes everything, to be honest. Because if you have a trainer that is not fully there, or like doesn't fully like believe in you, which happens sometimes.
It happens probably more than we think.
I know. And so she really believes in me, and in Bella, she loves Bella. She's her favorite horse. I agree on that. It's mine too. But she really believes in you, and then it changes everything, to be honest.
So before we talk about Bella, which I'm so excited to talk about Bella, because you and I have a total mutual love and obsession with mares. Fiery mares.
Fiery mare.
You shared something before we pressed record that I think is really cool to share. So to give everyone who's listening or watching a context, your family they're a bit of an industry in Belgium, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So setbacks, can you maybe give everyone a bit of context as to the business that your family runs in Belgium?
So the business that we run is we buy and sell horses. So we're actually one of the biggest sales in the horse world, like horse sales.
Definitely, I think has been number one or one of the top 3.
Yes, which is also a hard part for me, but I also love doing it, selling the horses.
When you say hard part, what do you mean?
Like to sell them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you find that hard?
Yeah, sometimes it is. But I also like it, actually, in one way. Like, it's hard to let them go. It depends on which horse, but I also really like producing horses and selling them and see them do good with other riders, which I really like too. But so we do horses and horse trucks and some other things. So yeah.
You guys, you have a horse show.
Yes.
You have how many shows now?
We 2 at the moment. No, 1 at the moment. That's just Stepfix Masters. We used to have Knokke. Hopefully we can get that back up running, but we're working on other things also. So
there's always one thing I've known when I lived in Belgium.
Yes.
One thing you can always know about Stepfx is there's always something brewing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So we're busy with new things also.
So you and your sister Zoe have been raised in this. It's like a brand.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have Stepfx jackets from when I was a junior. Like, it's been around, and your dad has been really established in the sport for a while.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's really cool to share a little bit about what the expectation is by your dad about your involvement in the company. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yes. So definitely my dad, he wants us to take over the company. It's his dream, which me too. I don't want anything else. Like, I'm so invested in, look up so much to him, what he did. Like, it's hard to follow in his footsteps in one way because people will expect the same thing. But I'm just really glad to learn from him and follow him around for now, to learn everything what he does. It's very interesting. So yeah, he has expectations for us to run the business, but he's also like, you have to know, you also choose what you want to do. You have to have passion for what you do. And so, yeah, he's really on that. Yeah.
So Zoe works in which part of the business?
So Zoe, she rides, and she does now I think for 2 years. She started in the finance of our business. We have a finance company. So she, does the lease arrangements for trucks or 2-horse trucks. It's really cool. It's impressive.
And then what part of the business do you work in?
So I ride as well. I'm very invested in that at the moment. But I also started doing the business together, like just following not really following my dad, but learning how he does business and trying to sell horses myself also, or buy some horses. Like, I'm very passionate about that too, like trying to sell horses, like I was saying. Like, I really like it. It's like here in Wellington now, Farid arrived, our other sales person. Yes. But like before that, I was in charge and talking to clients and getting clients to come try the horses. Unfortunately, I haven't sold anything yet. It's very hard. It's very difficult.
It is very competitive.
It is, but I really like doing it, and it's very interesting. Yes.
So for many people, if they're not familiar with the setbacks company, your dad built it from scratch. Is that true?
Yes, that's correct.
So those are some big shoes to fill. What are some, for those people who are listening who maybe want to start a business in the horse world themselves, or who are in the process of doing that, what do you think, what's some advice that your dad has given you about doing business in the horse world?
Yeah, because he started like from nothing. Like, when he was younger, he would go to markets, buy horses, and then sell them. Like, he would sell so many horses in a week. It's crazy what he does, but he's so like passionate about it. It's like, that's his passion, like buying and selling horses. He's always talked about that. This is like what he loves doing the most. And I feel like you have to be very passionate about something if you really want to make it work. And it's hard to explain how he works, because I'm also like, how does he do all this? Like, it's crazy. Like, he's just so driven and always thinking about everything. Like, he has ideas left and right all the time. It's sometimes I'm like, Dad, it's like, slow down. Like, when we're on holiday, even he's like, this and that. I'm like, okay, but like, you have to have a holiday also. Like, he's always like thinking, and it's impressive. Yes.
Let's talk about Bella.
Yes.
Okay. So what is her show name? Because she has a rather mouthful of a show name.
Yeah.
But it's distinctive. How do you say it?
Portobello van de Fruitkorf.
Okay.
That's her name.
Now I've always known this, but I realize that this is actually not as common in other parts of the horse world. Why does she have that name? Why not just call her Bella?
Yeah. It's where she's bred. It's van de Fruitkorf. And I think they just chose Portobello. I don't know how they came up with it, but I like it. It's special. Not a lot of horses are named Portobello. So, but we call her Bella to make it easier. Everyone knows her as Bella.
So can you maybe share, because you have quite some combinations at the 5-star level, they have a relationship with their breeders, the horse, the people that have bred that horse that they're riding, but some don't. Some people don't even, have any contact with. Yeah. In your case, you have quite a close relationship. These breeders were here. The breeders of Bella.
They were actually not the breeders.
No. Previous owners.
Okay. They bought her when she was a foal, like on the foal auction. So it's like like they had her a long time.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So they're very passionate about her career.
Yes.
Can you maybe share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the they still have a part in Bella as well, but they bought her as a foal at a foal auction. She wasn't the prettiest looking foal, let's say. She always had her own way. But I met them, when we bought the horse at 7 years old. Now they're here. They come watch me at every show. They're so happy for me to like, for her to be able to step up to that level and do so good. They're very emotional also when I won. Yeah, they were very happy. So it's really, really nice people. It's very nice to have them support me with Bella and trust me like with her. So yeah,
because that's a dream of a lot of people.
Yes,
to buy a foal,
yeah,
or to breed a foal,
I know.
And for that horse to go on and have like great success. But it's not easy.
No, it's not. Like there's so many steps to get there. It's a lot. It takes a lot.
Did they approach you or did they approach Helena about your mare?
No, so actually, Tom Kerkhoffs, who works by Stefix, he sells the horse trucks.
And I've known Tom a long time, so shout out to Tom.
Yes. He's actually the one who found the horse, who saw her at the show.
Okay, so Tom's sitting there going,
yeah. He always
credits
says,
to Tom.
I found this horse. And like, credit to Tom, really. So he saw the mare when she was 6, and then we tried her in September. It was just after a horse show, Stefix Masters, when she was 7 years old. So it's probably like, I don't know when it was, but like a few years ago. So he found the mare and he was always very positive about it. And he said, this is Emilie's horse. So
he even called that.
Yeah, he even called that.
Dang.
Yes, because he also found my other horse that was my heart horse as well, Mufasa. I don't know if you remember the chestnut gelding.
Yeah,
he was great. So he found those, and I'm always like, okay, you have to find my next superstar. I always leave it up to him. So he found her, and then we tried her. It wasn't love at first sight with Bella. It wasn't. No, I tried her, and she was very strong and a bit cold. Like it's crazy. She was cold like when she was young, and now she's so feisty. Like she grew so much. So it wasn't love at first sight. But we grew together, and I'm really happy where we got here. Yeah.
So if it wasn't love at first sight, then how did it end up becoming what it is now? Because you could have just said, no, I don't really like this mare. She's not really for me.
Yeah, that's the thing. In our stable, my dad is like, here, this is your horse. Like, even if I don't like them, like, he's like, I think this is something you can do. It's like, I also don't mind. Like, I don't fall in love with them straight away, but I like to like work it out and like see how we can get a click, you know, because you have to get a click with a horse, and it takes so long to get it. Like with Bella, for example, the click only came like when Helena started training me with her, because I was in the beginning when 7 and 8 years old. She was very slow, and actually my dad really didn't like her. He was like, oh, she always has 1 down or 2 down. Like she was quite boring over these small fences. Like, and but I always felt the scope. I was always like saying, she feels like great. Like the scope is
so you
massive.
Felt something.
Yes.
But she wasn't showing that to you.
She wasn't showing it. She was slow. She was, she would like have 1 or 2 down. She wouldn't care so much about that small fence. Or sometimes she would like jump very high. Like were like
overjump them.
There were like sometimes she would overjump, and sometimes really just be very boring. So my dad was like, what is wrong with this mare, like and then Helena started helping me with her, and we changed the way how to ride the mare, because I had to put her more together, like make her wait at the jump, because she would have energy, but she would not use it in a correct way. She would not use it on the jump, which we really needed her to do that. So we really worked on that a lot with Helena. Like, just it's something small, but I just always made her wait so she could use her energy at the jump. And since there, she's been jumping so good. And actually, it's a funny story.
Yeah.
So when Helena started really believing in this mare, and then she jumped the 2-star Grand Prix with me in Saint-Tropez the first time. She was 6. She was great. And she made a comment to my dad. She was like, okay, this mare will jump clear in 160. And my dad was like, no, like, I don't believe you. Like, he really did not believe it. And they made a deal. They made a wager. They made a wager. So Helena was like, okay, if she jumps clear in 160, you give me a trailer. So like a like a horse trailer.
Oh my god, I love that. Good for you, Helena.
I know. And then it happened. When was my first 160 clear? I cannot remember. But then she was like, where's my trailer?
She's like,
Stefan?
hey,
where's my trailer?
Stefan?
Yes. So that like, it's crazy how my dad did not like really believe in the horse, and he found so many
and he's
great
looked at
horses.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how many horses your dad has seen.
And then now he's like, wow, like how this mare just turned, like it's crazy. Yeah,
that's really cool.
At Connaway & Associates Equine Insurance Services, they understand how special your horse is. That's why I personally chose to work with them to insure my horses before we embarked on this epic journey across the country. I chose them because their agency writes coverage in 48 states. They also work with several A-rated admitted insurance carriers, so you have options and can select the insurance coverage that best suits your own unique needs. Having confidence in my insurance selection allows me peace of mind on this journey. I can focus on my horses and embrace these learning opportunities of a lifetime. Who better to trust with the insurance of your horse than a team of fellow horse people? Connaway & Associates was founded in 1992 by Laura Connaway, herself a Grand Prix show jumping rider. Laura and her experienced team have built a strong reputation as a reliable partner, building relationships through service, trust, and understanding. Explore www.connaway.net or call them for competitive, personalized insurance coverage options from their team of like-minded equine insurance professionals.
When I asked Helena on Saturday night about what she was like, she said, oh, she was really a chestnut mare personality. She had so much blood, so much scope. But like you said, you got her as a 7-year-old, and that's 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So what did you do? And like, this is really good advice for those who are listening who maybe have a mare like that, or maybe they have a gelding like that, that they can feel the scope. Yeah. Or maybe if they're in a different discipline and they can feel that capacity, that athleticism, but maybe they're not getting it. Maybe that horse is not, like you said, and I think that's really, really cool thing to distinguish, that the horse is not giving the effort and all that power
that's in there,
where it needs to go. What did you guys do in that program to help her evolve?
Yeah, to be honest, like if I think back, first when I started training with Helena, also like finding the right bridle for her, what she liked, because she's a bit strange. She's a bit like inverted kind of in a way.
She goes higher. Her point of balance seems higher. Yeah.
That I love the balance of a horse that is so high. I love that. Like that's the best they can jump, if the balance up there, then the power is behind and everything works out well. But yeah, when we started like training, like what I remember is really like I had to always keep going through the turn and then make her wait at the jump, that she really like always the same. We were very consistent with everything, and I feel like with horses they need this consistency to improve also. Like if you change every day, do something different, I feel like consistency is key. Like if you do every training the same, and then that's how they learn. Like with Bella, we made her wait at the jump, and then it's just her power kept coming and growing, and it's strange way how actually it all went. So if I think back at it, it's like how did she get there? Like me and Helena like really believed in the mare from the start. So like, yeah, we worked on to there. Yes.
She said time and patience.
Yes, time and patience. We really need patience. Yeah.
Yeah. So that goes to show that there are moments where patience really pays off. Yes. But as you were speaking, I was thinking, and some great riders in the studio have said that consistency actually develops confidence. Yeah, and that's something that this mare seems to have quite a lot of.
A lot of confidence, yes.
But wouldn't you say that actually for a horse to succeed at the 5-star level, they need to have a lot of confidence?
They need, yeah.
What does that feel like now, 3 years down the track? You know, you took the time, and I'm sure, did you have doubts along the way? Were you thinking, oh, maybe this isn't going to work out the way?
To be honest, yes. When I had her as a 7-year-old, we didn't do so many shows, which I kind of like. Like for a young horse to not, because she had all the scope. It was just a matter of waiting and for her to be able to jump up at a bigger level to see her full potential. But so when she was 7, every year I go to Wellington for 3 months. So 2 years in a row I left her like at home, just at home. Just she was flatting at home. She wasn't even jumping, like just like really like resting, really. Just getting ridden every day. And I think that also really helped her that we didn't do so much at a young age. Like we really took our time, like really stepped up when she needed to be, like we stepped up when she felt ready, like because whenever she started jumping so good, we like could feel like she had a lot of potential, and we had to use it wisely, like when to step up, when it's the right moment, if everything's in place, if I'm riding her correctly, like it, and all just, we made a really good plan with Helena, and then every year she kept growing and stepping up. So yeah, we had a lot of patience, but it paid off, and we're really happy with her.
So what is that feeling? When do you know that a horse is ready? Like, when did you know she was ready? What was that feeling? What was the checklist that you were going through in your mind?
So when I knew when she was ready, it was so her first 2-star Grand Prix we jumped, and it's just all clicked together. Like it wasn't perfect, let's say, like there were still a few things like the doubles like getting in too quick, or like she would stretch a little out, like things weren't perfect, but she felt confident, like she felt like she wanted to do it, and we clicked in a way. Like we already a long time ago, we like whenever Helena started helping, we had this click, and then ever since that happened, we trust each other like 100%. It's crazy. She trusts me so much, like it's just a nice feeling. It's actually crazy. Like I think she's like my soulmate in a horse, you know, like she's exactly like me. I feel like we understand each other very well because we're both kind of chestnut mares. So. That's what Helena always says. So yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that, because that to me is so important, right? To wait until, and I think not just to me, to many of us who have horses that we're developing, or maybe there's a horse that you want to take a little bit more time with. I love how you explain and you distinguish that confidence that that the horse has in herself, and then the confidence that you have in each other.
Yeah.
So if you were to put a timestamp on it, when do you feel like you both had the trust? When did that like connection, the like if like angels could sing and music would play, when was that moment?
I think that moment happened when she jumped her first 150. It was also in Saint-Tropez, but in the other show at the Polo Club. It's just, I don't know, it was like harmony with this horse, you know. It's and then you're like, wow, like, and then it just, every time we're in the ring, it feels like that, and it's just one moment and it happens, and that's what I remember most is that that class, like her first 150, and just all like clicked together, and it's just happened. It's weird, but yeah.
Do you feel like she can read your mind?
I think so, yeah. But I believe horses, they feel everything you feel, like, but she knows exactly what I mean, and if I have to make her slow down and she doesn't really fully listen, she will like make a smaller step and like be quicker. Like she knows, like she's great.
That's really special.
Yeah, she is.
That must feel, to be able to, because it's one thing to feel it, and then it's another thing to validate it by winning against the best in the world. You know? Yeah. You kept crediting her on Saturday night. Do you feel like you guys could, I mean, I'm so interested to see what you guys do and how you, like, what are your goals now with her going forward?
I'm still like, okay, this all has to sink in still.
Yeah,
like,
you're still sort of integrating.
I know, I'm like, just what just happened. Like, I don't know myself yet. But yeah, what's next is we do Ocala next week, the League of Nations, which I'm very excited about. Because she's also a great Nations Cup horse, because she has so much blood and energy, like what you really need for like a Nations Cup. So we're gonna do that, and then the week after is the Rolex week here. Yeah. depending how much she had to jump in Ocala, I don't want to push it too much either, because I know she's great. She can do anything. I just now have to make a good plan to be able to reach some goals. It was always a dream of mine. I was thinking about it last year already too. I have a goal for the Europeans, which would be a dream of mine. I mean, for Belgium, it's very hard because there's so many good Belgian riders and combinations. It's maybe a far reach, but I'm just gonna be at the show and do my best, and hopefully that will be enough to be able to get somewhere one day.
I know your sister has worked with Annette Paterakis. Mm-hmm. What have you also worked on sports psychology? Because when you're talking about, so now you win. I don't know if everyone maybe realizes that you win a big 5-star Grand Prix like that, and then now the pressure is a little bit on, right? Because now you've increased your, like, the bar is now higher, right? And then you say out loud, you say in a press conference, I would love to, and you say on a podcast, like, the Europeans would be my is a stretch goal. Yeah. So what work have you done on your mental game, if any? Yes. And how does it play a role in your daily life?
It plays a really big role. Like I said, I've been working with Poppy Blandford for over, I think, 6 years, like a long time. Yeah. We actually met here 2018 or 19 it was. Because I always, that's the thing, my mind is how you call it, it's like, it's the most difficult part. Like, it always gets in my way, let's say. It's really hard because I'm quite an overthinker, and then it's really hard when you're an overthinker. But I've been working with her for 6 years, and she's helped me so much. Like, in the beginning, I was always like scared to getting even to fence number 1. I would not have confidence, and she would help me also with like planning with horses and everything around it. And she felt always like a support. Like, you can call her whenever you need her. Even like, she's like 10 minutes, like, give her a heads up. You can have her on the phone very quickly, even if you need some encouragement or helping. Because that's the confidence plays a big role. Like, I feel it now. Like, now I've been training with Helena, and she gives me that, and it adds, like, you feel a lot better, because I'm like my worst critic. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, even I watched a video of the Grand Prix and a jump off, and I'm like, like, I should have done that better, like, I'm like very hard on myself. But Helena always, like, she adds that confidence as well. And I work with Poppy, like, I used to call her every week I went to shows, because that's how, like, much I needed it. Like, she was always there. And now, since I've been training with Helena, it's been a bit less, but I've spoken to her like 3 weeks ago still. Nice. Yeah, so a lot of credit goes to Poppy as well. Yes.
So what are some specific things that you've done? What sort of, like, how, if someone was listening and said, what can I do inspired by what Emilie does? What can I do to improve my mental game when I'm maybe stepping up into, and like you said, like, you were really knocking at the door. Everyone said you were knocking at the door during this circuit. So that can also be a little bit mentally challenging, right? Because you're trying, but you're not quite getting the result that you're looking for. So what are some things that you personally do in your mental game to really stay focused and not overthink?
Yeah, so that's a really hard one, because I quickly go there, like, and then, but I always talk to Poppy about this, like, my mind always goes to the worst case scenarios. Yes, it does. And it's just like, but think of, like, all the good things you've done before. Like, just, like, think of all the good things. Like, for example, if I before I jumped the Grand Prix, I was watching my best videos on Bella. Like, to have this, it gives you this extra, like, confidence. That works. She told me to do that. And for example, in the course, you really forget to breathe all the time. Yes. So, like, I'm like, okay, in this turn, like, breathe, like, really. And when she's like, when my mind goes to to the bad things, like I cannot do this, for example. My mind, it goes far, like but then you have to think of what I did before, like I've done already a 5-star Grand Prix and jumped clear already, like things like that. And then then it goes better. Like you always have to, it's actually an easy thing to do, like not easy because the mind is very tricky, but that always worked for me. Yes.
Those are really good pieces of advice.
Yeah.
Because I think we all share that tendency to go to the worst case scenario. And then the overthinking, and horse shows are a breeding ground for overthinking.
I know.
Because
like who's watching? Like I'm like
you're watching everybody go. You have to wait for your your class or your competition. There's a lot of waiting. Yeah. It's a very challenging. I think it's important for both of us to dispel for everyone listening that horse shows, I think, are very mentally challenging environments to stay focused and to stay in a positive mindset. Yeah. I love what the takeaway of watching your best rounds.
Yeah. It really helps. It gives you that like extra like encouragement to like, like I got this. It's fine. Like it will be fine. But the horse, it is a very hard environment to be at the horse show, to be focused, like you said. But that's what I just always do, the same thing. I always try to be very consistent in everything I do. Like it goes from like walking the course. I always do the same thing. I like walk the course, go over it with Helena, and then I walk the course myself all over again, go all like really do the path I want to like go with on my horse, like even go in the turns and stuff like that. Like we always do the same thing, and that helps a lot also for my mind. Like it has to be the same thing always. Like I'm very organized in a way in my head, so it always has to be the same, and it works well. And then I try to be focused. I just think of what my horse needs when I'm in the warm-up, because sometimes you get on the horse and it's a bit automatic. Now it's a bit automatic. You just ride, but then you're like, oh, my mind wanders off. I'm like, okay, what do I want from my mare? Like, should I ask her? Like, I have to ask her to sit a bit more on her hind legs or go forward, like see if everything is working. And then that takes my mind off the overthinking, because I'm really just focusing on my mare. And then, for example, me and Helena go over the course quite a few times to really like get the plan like 100% that we're sure of it. Because sometimes when I usually have this, like the first 2 lines, I'm always a bit unsure of it. And then I'm like, Helena, like, I don't know, like how to write this line. And she's like, okay, it's like this, it's forward, and then you'll see, like it's fine. Sometimes I'm a bit struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I still struggle with like the first 2 lines, because it's always like a roadblock to get started, like of the course, and then I'm off. Then it's fine. But it's always this first line that I really have to make a like straightforward plan, and then it's fine.
It's interesting that you say that one thing that is an antidote to overthinking is really connecting with your horse and tuning into what they need. Interestingly enough, a guest who came on, her name is Nikki Flundra, and she is a super famous movie stunt rider, Liberty rider. And I asked her, what do you do when you're on a movie set? And how do you navigate the nerves of, like, you might have a big director, she might be in a movie set where there's like hundreds of people around, and you have to get your horse, you only maybe have 1 or 2 goes to get the horse to do the thing on camera. And she says, I tune into my horse. And I'm hyper focused about what they need. The other thing that you said that I realized maybe you and Bella are the same person or the same being is you said that you are very consistent. And that is a way for you to keep, maintain, and build your confidence. But that's the very same thing that you said that you did with Bella. Is you're consistent.
Because also, like, when you get in there with, like, all the atmosphere, it's crazy. Like, you walk into the ring and everyone's watching you. Like, there's so many people watching. And then I get always a bit overwhelmed, because then I look around and there's so many people. But then when I get in the ring and I hear the bell ring, I stop for a second, And I pet her, and sometimes I say something. I'm like, okay, this is us now. Like, this is just us. Like, it's no one's watching. It's just us. Like, we're gonna do this together. Yeah, and then it really works. Like, then I'm like, okay, I'm just focused on her, what I have to do, and then it works out. Like, for my mind to just focus on her. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah,
might be my new favorite combination. Okay, so. To wrap up every episode, I always ask riders the same rapid fire questions. I'm very excited to hear your answers. If you could read one book to the horse world, what would it be?
Oh, wow. One book. I'm not much of a reader, but I've gotten into the books of Colleen Hoover. I don't know if you know her.
I don't.
Yeah, I really like her book, It Ends With Us. Like, it's a big one. It's from the movie. It's from the movie.
Yeah.
And the book is, to be honest, like 100 times better than the movie. It's really like, just the books are different in general. Like, it goes in these small details, you know, like, and then you can envision it yourself how it would look like. Like, it's not something that's there. You can still fantasize about how everything would look. So that book for sure.
I love it. Who is the most iconic horse in history?
Wow, I think I'm gonna say Hickstead for sure.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. And you guys were part of that journey.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
that's very special. Most undervalued skill as a rider?
Most undervalued skill? To be like calm, like very calm and cool. I don't know if that's the undervalued. No, it's not really undervalued, but it's like, I feel like that's really the base, to stay cool and like calm, like, and then because if you get too much like this, it's, I think, cool and calm. Yeah.
Who is the greatest horseman or horsewoman in history?
For me, I'm gonna say Helena.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And what about her? Why?
Just because I've been training with her for 3 years, and just to know how she does everything, and it's just been a great journey with her. Yes, I really look up to her. Yeah,
love it.
Yeah.
And the last question, I have a feeling I know the answer to this one.
Okay.
Mares, stallions, or geldings?
Oh, easy. Mares, 100%.
Okay, so for everyone who's listening or watching who are team mare, why? What is the piece that is special about a mare?
I have quite a few mares, and they're all very different, but in one way they're very similar. If you have a great bond with them, or they would do anything for you. They go in there and they give their all, like they fight for you, and that's when they're special. You really have to find a way how you get to work with them. Like, you have to ask things nicely, because sometimes they have attitude for sure. But if you know exactly how to ask them things, they will just do everything for you. They fight for you when they go in the ring. They're very special. Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And you have a really special one.
Special one, yes.
Well, we'll all be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Emilie.
Thank you for having me.
Today's episode is brought to you by Connaway and Associates Equine Insurance Services. The friendly and knowledgeable team at Connaway and Associates brings together more than 30 years of experience to offer a wide range of insurance services, including horse insurance, farm insurance, and liability insurance. Visit www.connaway.net to explore options or get in touch today.